And so we are still here in beautiful Dubai. I'll see if you can see it back there. I know it's a little bit bright. The sun is shining in through the window of the apartment. So if you caught my last video, you might have noticed that it disappeared for a little while. I guess people who got notifications or it appeared in their feed might have clicked on it and it wasn't there. And that in itself is an interesting topic for a video. So you're only going to actually be seeing this when I am safely back on British soil and have cleared the customs. And you probably noticed from the video thumbnail some little bars there. Well, good news, I haven't actually been arrested for my critique of Dubai. So first of all, the video itself, if you haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the description, and I've kind of broken it up into two parts. The first part is everything that I've seen that's great about Dubai. It really is a great place and it's definitely worth visiting. I've come at August, obviously in August, late July and August, and that is a cheaper time of the year to come, mainly because it is so freaking hot at this time of year. And a lot of people who live here actually go away somewhere else, somewhere cooler on the holidays. It's like mid 40s, 47 it was one day. During the night time, it is also 39, 40 degrees Celsius, really, really, really hot. So that is almost as restrictive as going to the UK where it rains every day. However, we've done a lot of air conditioning hopping, a lot of AC hopping from mall to mall to mall. We've got air conditioning here, all the restaurants have air conditioning, brilliant restaurants, so it's still worth coming. So the second part of the video was, it's me learning really, I'm learning about the place, and one thing that struck me was the fact that there are a lot, especially in the service industries, which is are the places that I am obviously frequenting. I'm going to these places, I'm seeing the people working in the hotels and the restaurants and the shops and so on, the taxis, and they are all, to a person, everyone that I've spoken to, are low paid immigrants, very low paid immigrants. And through the discussions in the comments, I learned a little bit more. Now obviously we all have these preconceived ideas and these opinions, and I always like to think of myself as someone who will have an opinion about something, but it is open. I'm not closed off to it. I will develop that opinion and improve, and I have no problem at all with doing a U-turn if I've learned something new. And surely that is the way to have an opinion. You know, if your opinion is no matter what somebody tells me, I'm not going to change it, well, then you're not worth talking to, in my opinion. So one or two people have pointed out, quite rightly, that certainly the UK, which I can speak of more than any other place, but I believe the US as well, have been built on low-paid immigrants, and it's the same the world over. The pyramids in ancient Egypt was built on slavery. Ancient Rome was built on conquest. You know, this is nothing new. It's not something that's only just happening. But we can bring it a lot more up to date. Somebody pointed out that in Florida, the farm workers are mainly immigrants and they get paid next to nothing. The roofers get paid next to nothing. And I brought it home to my local area in the north of the UK. I can point to practically every Amazon driver, practically anybody who delivers flyers, practically everybody who works in a car wash are immigrants, and they get paid very low wages. So this isn't something that is unique to Dubai, and I think it's worth pointing that out because it balances things up a little bit. It is perhaps more obvious here in as much as you have the mega wealth all around, and then the people who are at the bottom doing mainly, propping it all up really, doing all the work to keep it all running, construction and so on. So it is more obvious. Now, I'm not saying it's right, just as it isn't in our country. I don't know the answer, I don't know the solution to these things. But that brings me to the topic of this video, which is the next thing that has occurred to me as I've been here. I've only been here like 10 days so far, and we go home very soon, thankfully. I'm saying thankfully because I'm ready for, you know, a little bit of cooler weather. No doubt, give me 2 days and I'll have had enough of that. So, what happened to my video? Well, it was doing really well, and at the behest of my family, I took it down. And what I discovered and what I learned subsequently was that the authorities in Dubai not only frown upon any criticism, and I don't think that video actually criticised the government directly, to be honest, but they not only frown on that, they positively ban it. It is punishable. You cannot criticise the authorities here in Dubai. I'm sorry for the light flare behind me there. So I thought it only prudent to remove it just for the length of time, just to set it to private for a few hours. So as I say, there's a link in the description. If you've not seen it, go and have a look, because you will see some of the great things that I've seen about Dubai and little snippets. So that in itself is an interesting topic. So is this something that I am comfortable with? Well, the answer is definitely not. Definitely not. I would find it difficult to live in a country where critique of the authorities is not permitted. I think in my own country, not only is it a good thing that you can criticise the government and those in authority, I think it is positively necessary and vital, because if you can't, where does it lead? Right, well, okay, you have a government in power or somebody in power who suddenly decides, right, I am not going to permit anybody to criticise me. Well, you end up with Russia, you end up with North Korea, you end up with half a dozen of these other nations, some of them so-called democracies, where the person in power has been put there supposedly temporarily and has been there 20 plus years, because they've removed all parties that would put up a fight against them in a proper election. So what you have really is a dictator. You have an autocracy, even though they might not say that that's what they have, that's what they have. So I would find that difficult to be in a country like that. Think back to ancient Rome, that's what the Senate was for. They tried unsuccessfly, as it so came about, to prevent Julius Caesar from becoming emperor and declaring himself ruler. As I say, it didn't happen. He still managed to become emperor, and then you followed after that with one emperor after another who had total, absolute power. Some of them were okay, some of them were good, some of them were benevolent, some of them, like Marcus Aurelius, were great people. Others, not so much. Others were despots. So, yeah, I don't feel happy about that, being in this country, but you know, it's not my country, and I felt it only right to take the video down while I was here. And then as soon as I get on that plane, well, actually, I'll wait till I clear customs on the other side. I will put it back up to live, and you'll be able to see it. So that's just a few more thoughts on Dubai. And I also have a few thoughts about free speech and the cancel culture as well. And maybe if you want to hear about that, you know, like I've said just previously, I'm not mega political, and I think what I think, and I like to try and improve things and learn from other people and hear what other people have to say. So if you're interested in what I want to say about cancel culture, I might just do it anyway, because it's my YouTube channel. And there will be more coming about what I'm going to change my channel into, but it still will be about plants as well as some other things, because I've got lots to talk about. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that one. Put in the comments anything that you're interested in, anything that you've got to say on this matter. And for now, I'll see you back in the rainy place, back in Blighty. See you again.